Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. Tonight we have a special episode of Soulbound, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar role-playing game. And I'm Pete, and I think I'm still a games master in this. I think it's just games master.
Probably cooler than that.
So
Voice of the
Dan,
gods, herald of power. You know, come on, you can do better than games master.
I am Sigmar. Dan, tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hi everybody, I'm Dan. I'm sure you've seen me a few times before, but I am playing Malgra Danison, who is an Endrin rigger of the Caradron Overlords. He is from Barak Nar, the Skyfleet of Barak Nar, which is the biggest of and the best of all the Skyfleets, obviously. And they like guns and floating around with balloons.
And purple.
And purple. Not all of them, but Barak Nar love purple.
Yeah. Ben.
Hello, I'm Ben. I did this quite a bit as well. And I will be playing the Knight Questor of Sigmar, Vel Arturius, who's a Stormcast Eternal, who embodies Sigmar's belief completely and is determined to stand against those who would see a return to the Age of Chaos. I am playing Butch Wonder Woman. It's awesome.
Cool. Leon.
Hi, I'm Leon, and I'm playing Darak, the Kurnoth Hunter of the Sylvaneth. He loves animals, and it sometimes seems that he does better socializing with them than other people. However, his wide, bright green eyes are always open, and he never misses much. I have an owl and a squirrel living in my branches.
Cool.
I just realized I better do my hair.
And you're 10 foot tall and have a giant bow.
Yes, and a sword.
Yeah.
And I'm super stealthy. I'm a big tree.
Super stealthy big tree. You just like,
I just look like
why is there a tree behind us? Oh, it's just a tree.
It's just like a cardboard box in a tree. And they're like, how that cardboard box in a tree? It's like, no, it's on me. I'm hiding in the box.
Face. And last but very much not least. I thought you needed no introduction,
when you contemplate Apocalypse Now and they're all basically just hitting the beach and they're about to go surfing and everything's kicking off, that's not me. So I'm playing Imrem Sealgare. I think that's what definitely a woman. And so basically she's a wizard and she likes doing water magic. And she's very kind of precise and all that kind of thing. And
not one of the Ideneth Deepkin, who are deep sea elves, not sea elves who sail on the sea, but deep sea elves who live under the sea and take the sea with them.
They do. They create the Aether Sea, which is a fake sea that they float around in above land.
Yes. And if you hadn't guessed, Dan is our resident Age of Sigmar expert.
I mean, our expert might be going a bit far.
So I'm probably the least experienced Age of Sigmar person here, and I'm running the game. This is going to be interesting. And we've never played it before. That's true. That's true.
All my knowledge is of Seraphon, and they're not in this game.
No, but they did announce on UK Games Expo channel, or talk about it on UK Games Expo channel, on Wednesday, that they're doing the Seraphon book. It's called Stars and Scales, which will be interesting to have a look at.
Tonight, Matthew, I will mostly be playing a giant reptile.
Excellent. So we're having a little break from Traveller, just a little palate cleanser before we go back to Traveller. And I was sitting there thinking, what game should we play? And the postman arrived and had me a lovely, lovely package with a box in it, which was the Soulbound Starter Set. And I thought, well, there you go. There's something we can play for 2 or 3 weeks on the channel with the beginner adventure out of the box, which is advertised as you can literally play this out of the box. And I thought, well, that sounds perfect. So I thought we'd do a bit of that. But before we begin, please don't forget to check out all our social media. All our links are below in the about if you're watching on Twitch, and in the video description if you're watching on YouTube. Join us on our Discord, where we have nearly 450 people in our community talking about role-playing games, movies, TV, all kinds of things. Playing games. There are people on there tonight playing some Darker Trails.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, because I saw it just jumped on.
on a. I don't know why they're not here watching this, but they're playing Darker Trails in one of our chat channels. So there's loads of stuff that goes on there, and it's an amazing community with wonderful people who are very supportive. It's fantastic. Please also check out our Patreon. Everyone who supports us through our Patreon helps make it a bit better for everybody else, from all the kit and equipment we have to all the games that we play and all the things you see on the screen. All the awesome production from Millie and all that stuff. It all gets funneled into that. Millie's producing this show, by the way, which is why I just said that. And it's fantastic. I'm just bowled over by the support that we get, and it's brilliant. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Twitch channel, which hopefully you're watching this on right now. If you are an Amazon Prime customer, you get 1 free Twitch subscription per month. Throw that our way. Give the man a kick in the teeth and give us that free cash. That'd be awesome. Cool. Right. Okay. Do we want to go around and do people feel they've explained enough about their characters to our audience so far, or do you guys want to say anything more about your characters before we go any further?
Take some chaos right in the taint.
Okay.
Do you want to say about with Soulbound? So we kind of already start as a group chosen by Sigmar to do battle.
Well, not all of you, because Vel is not Soulbound. The Stormcast Eternals. You are chosen by Sigmar, but you are not soulbound to the others. The other 3 are literally bound together. Their souls are bound together to force you to be a cooperative role-playing party. To unite you and use between you some pooled resources and the power of your souls. The souls are really a big kind of thing in Age of Sigmar. They power lots of things. People are after them. They zip about all over the place. You find crystals with them in and all kinds of stuff.
And wars are being fought over them. So
the Soul Wars, I believe they're called.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's indeed correct.
So
you got a bit of realm bleed as well, haven't you? Where one realm bleeds into another if you're not careful, and people go through the realm gates and conquer each other's territories.
Yes. So the mortal realms is the world in which we will be exploring, and in the realm of Akshi, which is the realm of fire. I'm right down, aren't I? And here we go. Let's get back to
there's
the beginning
151 realms, and the idea is to go to all of them, isn't it?
Tonight.
There are technically 9 because you count
and
the
then
realm of
chaos is there.
Yeah.
But they're basically the winds of magic from old Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, aren't they?
Yeah,
and they are now manifest in multiple realms. Akshi, Shaish. There's a whole list of them.
We're going to speed run them all
in one evening. Absolutely. Now we're going to be
concerned that I'm a tree in the fire realm.
It's not
all on fire.
It's not all on fire. There is a sea, for example.
You'll be a wet tree for a lot of it, I imagine.
I remember that
if anyone gets any fire,
it had to be that way one way or another. Because if we'd ended up in Sheish, then Simon would be a fish wizard in the kebab realm. So
yay, fish wizard in the kebab realm.
Kebab realm. Excellent. Right.
That's a picture of my character. By the way,
that is literally
that is Val.
That is well, all your characters are on
nails.
that page, but you can't see all of them
because they're overshadowed by my glory.
Over here, you can see Dan's character above my shoulder. Oh, you might not be able to see it on the screen.
You see my bow.
There's Simon's character.
Yep.
And
he's an and you can see just behind a bow, but you might not be able to see it on the screen. Where? Okay. Right. Cool. So. You are all scions of what remains of the pantheon of order, driven by divine purpose. Some of you are direct representatives of the God King Sigmar, entrusted with a holy duty. Others are bound together by a powerful arcane ritual, your souls entwined for eternity. You are soulbound, destined for greatness or death in the war for the mortal realms. There you go. There's the little spiel. I like that. Greatness or death.
Warhammer
And-
Cake or Death.
Yeah, yeah. And each of you should have a connection to somebody else in the party on these lovely starting character sheets. Have a you probably can't see it because it can't show it very well on here, but these nice starter set character sheets are mini screens, and within it gives you everything you need. It's got sort of character sheet explanation. It's got who is your character, what are they like, why play this character, which I think is a nice. It's got 3 points on the front. So Imran is a powerful magic user with deep knowledge. Use your spells to attack enemies or aid allies. Use your scholarly lore to reveal secrets. Use your witch sight and unbind to keep your party safe. Which are handy just for, kind of highlights for what your character can get up to. A little shorthand. But on the inside, we've got little character details. So, and it asks you to each select one of 4 connections that link you to one of the other party members.
You can
And I
select
think-
more than one.
Select one, some, or all of the following.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to go to Dan first.
Yes.
Dan,
So are you asking me what are my connections or what ones I'm picking?
pick a connection or 2 for the other members of the party. Don't pick the one for the guy who's not here because there are 5 characters. What's his name?
Okay. Well, I think the first one I'll
Zan.
go.
You can't be friends with Zan.
No, I won't be friends with Zan. Okay, so that means I've got 3 left, which actually I'm going to pick all 3 because they're quite amusing. So Drac frustrates me sometimes because he sees the world so differently to me. Me being essentially a pirate most of the time, an honourable pirate that but we like gold. And then I apparently read Imran's journal, and it was unsettling. And then apparently Vel saved me, and I have to pay her back because I don't like being in her debt.
There you go.
So that's my 3 connections.
Excellent. Right. Yeah, you saved him. Well, let's go over to Vel then. Vel.
Well, I'm going to pick 3 as well because the 4th one
Okay.
is Zan. So
Sure.
Derek always surprises me with his thoughts. Our tree beardy friend. What if having an owl is my version of a haircut? I respect the power that Imran wields, perhaps more than she does, because I've met Simon. And number 3 is I saved Malgra's life. And since Dan's already gone for that one, I kind of need to take that one really
No.
as well.
Yeah. I thought it was the other way. I got confused. Yeah. Me, Derek.
Go for it.
So I have told Imran too much, and now I worry about her.
Dirty.
We all feel that way about Simon.
I am uncertain of Malgra's approach to problem solving.
I'll blow it up.
And I envy Vel. She can still hear the Song of Sigmar clearly.
Mm.
Also, I get better if I die.
Yeah, you keep
Yeah.
coming back stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go for all my 3. Darak told me the secret tale of his shame. Shame.
For
Oh dear,
shame.
Simon gets to make up your shame now, Derek.
I don't even really like owls.
Yeah. I feel sympathy with Malgra and trust them. Which is really odd because that's just as more than one.
I feel like maybe Imran let
No,
Malgra
no.
read the journal.
That's
Malgra-
singular them
Malgra's
pronoun.
pronouns are they, them.
They, them. So yeah, characters have pronouns in the game.
Do they? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, maybe I don't understand that, and I still wonder where the other one is.
It's also refreshing to have an elf or an alelf, as they are in
Yeah.
you might
Yeah.
trust a dwarf or dwarden, as they are in
Dwarden, yep.
Dwarden.
Yep.
Yeah.
But,
Cool.
And Vel is too certain of herself and too careless sometimes.
I'm made of lightning.
True.
and you don't technically die.
What do you want from me?
Okay, I'm gonna for people who don't know Age of Sigmar, there is a little document in here that says, read this first. in this starter set, which is a handy little thing, and it's got a bit about the planes, a bit about the setting. I thought I'd do a quick run through of a couple of things. So, Age of Sigmar is a mythic fantasy setting where gods and monsters wage endless war in 8 near infinite realms. That's eight lots of infinity. The realms have known 3 ages: the age of myth, time of great empires, and impossible magic. The age of chaos, when the realms were plunged into centuries of blood and darkness and demons roamed the lands, and the age of Sigmar, when the god king Sigmar returned with his storm-cast Eternals and brought hope back to the world. Then Nagash, we all remember Nagash.
Oh, Coco the Clown.
Coco the Clown. The god of death unleashed the Necroquake, which just sounds awesome. Demons and undead now roam the lands, and nowhere but the great cities of Sigmar are safe. Now on the brink of an age of death, the mortal realms need you. So who are the Soulbound? The Soulbound are an ancient order from the age of myth, reborn in a time of utmost need. They are heroes tasked by the gods themselves with defending the mortal realms. The Soulbound are drawn from across the realms, from every species and culture, to come together as a beacon of hope to unite the people of the realms. To be soulbound is to have your essence entwined with others, binding your souls together until death. This connection allows the soulbound to draw upon each other's essence, pushing themselves to tasks that a single mortal could not achieve. Though they are chosen of the gods, the soulbound have their own goals and motivations, some far less altruistic than you would expect. So you may not like each other. You may respect each other, you may fear each other, but you all work together. You are bound together in a cause. And there are 8 mortal realms in the realm of chaos. And the 8 mortal realms, actually the realm of fire, sweltering land of passion and emotion. Azir, the realm of heaven, is part of the glittering firmament above all other realms and the seat of the god king Sigmar. Chamon, the realm of metal, is a place of is a place of transience and constant change, where the lands are imminently mutable. Gur is the realm of beasts. Is a land of harsh landscapes and jagged mountains where everyone is both predator and prey.
Except for the bears who are in charge because they named it.
Giran, the realm of Gyran. Okay, cool. Gyran. Thank you. The realm of life, a land of constant growth, of cycles of death and rebirth, where life swells and abates continuously with the turning of dozens of seasons. Hish, the realm of light, dazzling sun of the realms that is entwined with its twin Ulgu. Shaiish, the realm of death, which is basically like a giant graveyard. And Ulgu, the realm of shadow, is the dark moon of the realms that is entwined with its twin Ish. Beyond the 8 mortal realms exists the realm of chaos, an infernal plane of demons and dark gods. We all know what the plane of chaos is, don't we? That is a silly place. We will not go there.
Non-stop party town.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Within the realm of chaos, each of the dark gods has their dominion. The blood-soaked battlefields of the blood god Khorne, the diseased lands of Nurgle, the Plague Father, the ever-changing land of mutation and madness, the home of Tzeentch, the changer of ways, and the dark prince Slanesh's domain of pleasure and excess, and Blight City, an enormous metropolis infested with the verminous Skaven. So the Skaven are part of the Chaos
Pantheon.
Chaos Pantheon. So
I think when they realized that they were selling more to younger viewers, that maybe they needed to stop talking about Slaanesh quite so much.
Yeah, so
no, look at this big rat.
Look at the horrible plague-infested rats, 12-year-old children.
Well, I mean, Slaanesh is loving life at the moment. He's chained up somewhere.
It's perfect. Millie spit Skaven. They don't exist. Lies. Very true. Very true.
Unseasonably large rodents, gentlemen.
Well, the Skaven once again disrupted Nagash's plan because the Necroquake was supposed to do a lot more damage than it actually did. The Skaven once again got in Nagash's way, as they always do, and stole some gems and broke his plan.
Skaven.
Hey,
Ate his cheese.
well, at the moment, so we're all happy about the Skaven interfering at the moment then. So that's good. Okay, so we begin our adventure. You stand on the deck of the Grund, a Caradron airship bound for the newly reclaimed city of Brightspear. The ship pitches and sways as the wind whips past, and the Duardin crew race back and forth in preparation for landing. As you look out before you, the gleaming city of Brightspear awaits. This ship, they have these hard dirigible kind of endrins. That's the right word, isn't it?
Yep.
Just getting used to all the
Terminology.
different terminology. These endrins, which are metallic, but they're infused with
Aether gold.
magic, ether gold, and this magic, and it makes them.
It's not magic. The Dwarden don't do magic.
Sorry,
it's science.
It's Grimnir. The shattered god has been spread out in the Urgold.
Oh no, so you're thinking that's Urgold.
Oh, sorry, that's the other guys, isn't it?
That's Fire Slayers.
Yeah. Get your gold right.
Get your gold right. Come on.
I get my dwarves and their gold right. Okay, so that's. Okay.
The dwarves just have like a spectrum of gold. There's like they have 100 words for gold, slightly different shades of gold.
All right,
absolutely.
That's gold. You want ear gold?
Yeah. Shut up.
I've got a cousin, yeah.
So Dan, your character's got their own little
engine rigger
flotation tank, which basically is kind of buoyant. It's not really like a massive flying machine, is it? It just kind of keeps you aloft, and then you can kind of move around and sort of paddle.
And then you can like use it to boost you and go into different places and jump around.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like you've got a little mini hot air balloon on your back. That's powered by magic.
Like, drape a trench coat around you so it just looks like you're taller.
it's really big up the back, so it's like a really big hunchback. It would be a bit noticeable.
And Simon carries magic invisible ghost sea everywhere, so the two of you float everywhere.
Yeah. So and Dan's character, there's a mechanical noise to his movements and things. He's got his armor. It's very technological. He's got breathing apparatus for flying up to the clouds where they mine the metal out of them.
That'd be why Darak is so good at stealth, because everybody's busy listening to Helicopter Boy and his hot air balloon.
And think of it like like you see the old classic World War I pilots with the big leather jackets and the fluff around there. That's exactly what my character is wearing. It's essentially what he's wearing with the goggles.
Excellent. And then basically whenever Vel walks into the room, like heavy metal or Stan Bush starts up.
Everybody's hair stands on end.
It's just like, there's Vel.
Thunderstruck.
So you're all looking out across the shattered. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the names of these places right. The disintegrated shores as you're flying in towards Brightspear. And ahead you can see this reclaimed city. Now, Brightspear is different from most of the other cities of Sigmar. Most of them are built around a realm gate in order to form a fortress. The Stormcast Eternals normally rock up, build a fortress around a realm gate, and then a city starts to build out around it. This is different. This city has been reclaimed and is divided into two. The sprawling lower tier is filled with new construction built atop ancient ruins, while above, on an enormous plate, so the city is round, by the way. All the cities of Sigmar are built out in concentric circles. And there's this enormous plate upon which there is a kind of orrery with globes and spires and things sticking up from it in a kind of celestial representation of the mortal realms. And this thing moves, and everyone knows that this is a big construction of the Agloraxian Empire. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Agloraxian Empire. And in the middle of that is the beacon of Brightspear, which is like a big spear that sticks up, which is one of the reasons the city has been renamed Brightspear.
Or as we were discussing on Tuesday, the city of Adjective Noun.
Adjective noun, yes, yeah. Around the beacon, 9 globes attached to enormous armatures slowly rotate, following the rotation of the 8 mortal realms. The 9th globe, representing the realm of chaos, has been shattered. Brockesdotter, captain of the Grund, calls out her final orders as you come into land. The ship docks in a berth at the top of the high port, a huge spiraling tower that descends into one of the busiest parts of the lower tier of the city. This is kind of like a triple helix structure. And each of those 3 bands is a set of kind of staircases that go round this central tower structure, which isn't solid. Again, it's kind of like girders. And this is maintained by the what's the word? Caradron people. Their ships are coming in here. Their airships coming in, bringing people into the city as it's been recently taken over, and they're bringing you in with a very special mission in mind. As you disembark, a man clad in heavy maroon armor and dark robes approaches you. He is close to 7 feet tall, carries an arcane-looking staff. My name is Vontus Tavaria, Knight Incantor of the Stormcast Eternals. Lord Arcanum Solania Gravewing has been waiting for your arrival. And he kind of turns and with a gesture of his head beckons you to follow him.
I shall give him a salute and then fall in to follow. What is the Sigmarite salute? They've got like a twin-tailed comet, isn't it? Just like,
I think it's like rimmer. It's a double rimmer. But he seems quite grim and quite serious. He's obviously high up. He's got a nice fancy looking staff. So you follow him down the staircase?
Yep.
Aracle falling.
He kind of leads you towards an awaiting gyrocopter with like a half a dozen passengers can kind of fit into it, and there's like a pilot sitting there awaiting, and kind of after you.
another one.
I'll let you all clamber in, I suppose.
I will crouch.
I mean, it's fairly roomy. They'll fit you in.
Are we
They'll
all
fit you in.
sitting on the other side to the tree?
I mean, Malagra is going to high hitch. He's just going to hang on to the side because that's what Endrin riggers do. They like to hang on to the sides of floating airships and helicopters. So he's like, I'm going to hang on to the side, lads.
Eric doesn't understand Malgra. Sits inside the ship. You are clearly meant to sit inside the ship. That is where the seats are.
Absolutely.
This thing doesn't have guns on the side, does it?
It does now.
Hold my staff out.
It does
hold
now.
my staff and just.
There you go, Simon. You wanted your apocalypse now imagery.
Yeah.
Hanging out the side of a helicopter with guns.
See, I told you.
Someone gets out a ghetto
It's
blaster
true.
and starts. No. So the pilot sort of gets a nod from the Stormcast Eternal and gets the gyrocopter moving, pulls some levers and copyright.
All right. That was less than 5 seconds, right? I was okay.
Yeah,
with that.
that's fine. Yep, that's fine. And that might be in
Also,
public
wasn't anything
domain.
like the real tune, so you're safe.
That's true. That's true. The gyrocopter lifts off with a shudder, giving you a clear view of the city. You see bustling markets, great factories, thick smoke from an enormous crematorium, charming, an imposing fortress and prison, a great garden hanging from the upper tier, and countless other sights. At its center is the Spear of Heaven, the beacon at the heart of Brightspear. So this, you can see that there is this upper tier on top of this plate with these orbs and the fortress and all these kind of large, pristine, the more prestigious structures. Beneath it, in shadow, is the lower tier, the lower city. And you haven't really been able to see much of that because it's below this big, literally a big disc. So it seems to be in shadow, but growing out from that in concentric circles, sticking out in with a wall around the outside, is the new city, which is kind of the more recent stuff that's been built, and you can see markets and factories down there. And here we go. We're going to make our first roll of the game. So the way rolls work in Age of Sigmar is that I'll ask you to make a roll based on one of your attributes and a skill. And if you have that skill and you have training in it, then the level of your training, you can add that many dice to your attribute, and that becomes your pool of dice. They'll tell you two numbers. And the first number is the number you need to roll over on your dice to get a success each die. The second number is the number of successes you need to roll. So if I say to you, make a mind law 4-1 test, then you need to pick up how many mind dice you have. And if you have law, any levels of training in that, you add that many dice. Then you're trying to roll 4s or more, because the first number was a 4, and you're looking for 1 4 out of your dice pool. And if you have any focus in that skill, you can add your focus points onto your dice after you've rolled them to increase them to try and get more successes.
That's interesting. I have a skill with a focus, but no training.
Yeah, there you go. Interesting.
So I'm not well, it's theology. I'm not trained in theology, but I was handcrafted by a god. So
yes, you've got a bit of insight into it.
A bit of insider knowledge.
Yeah. Your breadth of it isn't great, but there's certain things you know a lot about, like Sigmar.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this show we're just rolling dice. So everyone feel free to roll your mind, law. Go for it and tell us what you get. Now, if viewers can actually see that we've got the stats, the main stats for people on the screen, so we can see that Imren has a mind of 4, Darak has a mind of 4, Malga has a mind of 3, and Vel has a mind of 2. But we don't know what your skills are, obviously. So, have you guys rolled?
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
Was it a 4-1 you wanted?
Yep.
3 success for Darak.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Nothing for Vel. Imren, anything?
So I rolled 4 dice for mind, and then 1 dice for law. I rolled 3 1s, a 2, and a 5. So I got 1.
Got 1. Okay, you got 1 success.
Laura is what he's for. She's for.
Okay. So, Imren, you are aware that this city is ruled directly by the Stormcast Eternals. There is not a council in place. Malgra, you are aware that the necroquake caused undead to rise throughout the realms and in this area. So you know that there's been undead reports in the lower tier and in the structure beneath. Darak, you've heard quite a few stories about this area. The original conclave that was ruling the city was killed by the uprising in the necroquake, and that there has been reports of Tzeentch cults still lingering around. There was a massive battle, and you can even see kind of demons trying to attack the outer walls of the city as you're flying in. There was a massive issue here. The city had Tzeentch had control of the city, and you're aware that they're trying to use the city as a kind of example to others, that they haven't had to build a new city around a realm gate. They've been able to take something back and show that this is the way of order, no longer chaos. So you've all kind of heard a few stories, apart from Vel, who's just recently come off the Stormcast production line. It's just recently stamped into the armor.
The Anvil of Apophis.
That's the one.
Is that an STC?
And yes, so you fly on a gyrocopter across the upper tier of the city, and you can see these orbs, different colored orbs around the plate representing the different mortal realms, and very occasionally you think you can see some slight movement of some of them. They can move independently, they can all move together, the plate itself can turn. It's a really intricate, massive scale machinery that is the kind of top of this city. It's very shiny. As you can imagine, you're on Akshi, and there's bright sunshine and there's lots of gold everywhere, and it's all.
Is there a one-eyed Muppet shouting at everyone?
They're a one-eyed Muppet. No. Okay, cool. Sorry, just checking chat. Cool. Right. So the gyrocopter lands with a bump on a raised platform in the shadow of the Spear of Heaven. This is the big central spear structure in the middle. The gigantic tower stretches from the storm-racked heavens above and seems to plunge all the way down into the depth of the city below. A huge fortress has been built around the spear, and a number of other storm-cast Eternals guard it. Without a word, Vontus disembarks the gyrocopter and gestures for you to follow. Any character may make a difficulty 6-1 mind lore test to recall legends of the spear if they wish to.
I got one. Just in case people doubt my one, it's there as the fleur-de-lis dice. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, cool.
So I passed one with one.
Okay.
Yeah, also got one.
Okay, cool.
One of my dice landed on the floor, so that just don't count.
No, that means you failed.
Floor dice don't count.
Who'd have thought Simon couldn't roll dice very well? So, you were aware that this was made in the age of myth and has weathered storms and wars untold. It's now dark, but it's told that there was once the beacon atop it shone with a light that banished all evil. Malgra, you know that the fortress around it is new construction, and it's known as the Portentarium. And it was built to house the Stormcast Eternals that protect the city. Here we go. Vel, make a difficulty 6-1 mind, arcana, or devotion roll.
Ooh, arcana? No. Devotion? No. Oh, well, this will be easy.
Oh, we should talk about.
I rolled a 4 and a 4.
Should talk about meta currencies, didn't we?
Aqua is Aqua Gyrus. It's special water from the realm of life.
Sorry, pardon?
Sorry, I'm eating eggs while I'm doing this.
Aqua
Special
Gyrus.
magic water from the realm of life. And I rolled 2 4s.
Okay.
Dan, you've got 2 rerolls.
Okay. So you failed. Oh, you got rerolls. Okay.
I'm not using one.
You also have some resources. So you each have metal points. Each character has a number of metal points representing their force of will to push themselves past normal limits. Character recovers 1 metal at the start of their turn. You can spend metal on talents, including casting spells, and miracles outside of combat. In combat, you can spend a point of metal too, and you should have. I think I shared the rules reference sheet with each of you. Let's have a look.
So you can use metal to take an extra action.
Yep.
Use it a
The
talent or miracle.
Mhm.
Double your training in something, or double your focus in something.
Yeah. So before rolling a dice, you can double the number you get from your training in a skill. And after rolling, you can double the bonus gained from your focus in a skill by spending a point. And then Soulfire. Soulfire is a group resource representing the conjoined power of the Soulbound. The group starts with Soulfire equal to the number of Soulbound in the party. So we'll have 3 Soulfire. You need permission from the group to spend Soulfire. Technically, not technically correct, because if you do it without consent, we get a point of doom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doom
Soulfire can achieve maximum success on a test. Each die counts as a 6. No need to roll. You can re-roll as many dice as you like. You can recover all your toughness, which is basically like your first level layer of hit points. Regain all spent metal and cheat death. So I thought that what we do is our re-rolls should go into the Soulfire pool.
Ooh.
So
like that.
they're collective.
Does
But
that mean I have access to the Soulfire pool?
You do not, because you
because
are not a
I'm
soulbound.
soulbound.
you do not, unfortunately,
So
Vel.
so the Stormcaster.
But you are a
really
walking
powerful.
tank, so
Yes.
you don't
That
need
seems
it.
so harsh.
No,
No.
it's just because the Stormcaster are just so powerful. in the
Yeah, yeah.
game. If they
Yeah.
were soulbound as well, they would just be so good.
Yeah. If the party achieves a short-term goal, it recovers 1 Soulfire. A long-term goal recovers all Soulfire. If a party member takes a last stand, I think we can all guess what that means, recover all Soulfire. And then there's Doom. Doubt, selfishness, and fear are what once led the realms to the brink of destruction, and many believe it will soon happen again. As I said, there may be an age of chaos or death. This encroaching dread is represented by Doom. Doom starts at 1 and can never fall below this. There can never be no Doom. Doom can increase in the following ways. Each time Doom increases, add a Doom token to the party sheet. If a party member dies, you get a Doom point. If someone uses Soulfire without consent. If a party member flees, like it. If the party fails a retreat. Each time a fear escalates to a threat. Now that's another mechanic that we won't be getting into. But they've got a cool between adventures mechanic where you start to build out stories going on in the city, and they start as I think it's rumors, and then they become a fear, and then they become a threat. And if they get to a threat without you having dealt with them, then Doom appears, and Doom starts to be a bit bad. So Doom can decrease in the following ways. If the binding's maximum Soulfire increases, if the party takes the Cleanse Corruption Endeavor, which is between adventures, if a Stormcast Eternal party member is reforged, so just take out Vel and get her reforged, and then you'll lose a Doom. Or if the party stop a threat. Yep. So that's cool. So don't forget you have metal, and you should have in your character sheets your metal. Yep. So that's for you, and you can use that to take an extra action. Use it. They have to use it for some of your talents and spells.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Right. So we got that.
Yep.
Excellent. Right. So, sorry. One of the reasons I said that is because we were starting to get rerolls, and I wanted to address the meta currency and how we can slot that in. So, although Dan may have 2, they're actually 2 Soulfire, and that means that Ben, unfortunately, as the Stormcast Eternal, you don't get access to those. But you are
Do I not
hardcore.
even get access to the one that was bought for me?
Oh yeah, you can have that one. Sorry, that's what. Sorry, the two rerolls.
The
bought
2
for
that
Dan
Dan's got, but the
go
other 3
into
can
the pool.
share them.
Your
I
one
can
is
live
for
with
you.
that.
You can
Yeah.
use your one. I'm not that harsh.
Okay.
You can't use the Soulfire or the pooled ones from the other players.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because Stormforged are pretty damn nails.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if
To an
I die,
extent,
I get
immortal.
better. Yeah.
So you didn't pass that roll, did you? You got a
No,
couple
I
of
did not.
4s. Okay, cool.
I'm on alert. I'm keeping my eyes open.
Okay.
I'm at work.
You are indeed. So, where are we? Vontus leads you to the Portentarium, this huge fortress with giant statues of Stormcast Eternals on the outside, clutching huge weapons, all shimmering gold, all imposing and impressive. And as you approach, you enter in through large doors and into a main chamber. Gold-clad columns stretch upward to support the curved ceiling that once held images dedicated to the ancient Agloraxian Empire that founded the city. This is the people who built this city centuries and centuries and centuries ago. And you are led. There are people repainting the walls to show Sigmar's storm throwing back the forces of chaos during the Realm Gate Wars. So there's this kind of weird mix of artisans and people repainting pictures, kind of like the one behind Ben kind of Stormcast Eternals, all like a host of them, like descending on big metallic wings, chucking lightning bolts and bows that shoot 3 arrows and all this kind of stuff going on, like completely full heavy metal cover, kind of like
they deploy Stormcast Eternals on lightning as well.
They do indeed.
Yeah.
They literally thunderbolts hit the ground.
Kaboom, yeah, and you step out of the lightning bolt. It's full on.
I like to think you're riding it down, like gripping it down. But yeah, so there's like lots of lightning in the background. It's very, very lightningy, and this is kind of mixed with these paintings on the ceiling that are clearly of some sort of more peaceful, magically oriented people. There's scenes of people kind of researching and doing kind of almost scientific kind of experiments, and there's kind of like a central mage figure. All the others are kind of working around that person, but this one half of it has kind of been taken over, so it almost looks like the Stormcast Eternals are attacking the Agloraxian Empire and this kind of ancient magocracy that's kind of peacefully standing there, like doing science homework. So it's kind of a weird mix. And the guy who's going to go and start doing the chaos side hasn't quite got himself into gear, and he's a bit annoyed he has to paint the chaos creatures, but someone needs to show them all dying, so someone has to do it. You head through. Vontus leads you to a large set of ornate double doors that adjoin the main hall. He pulls the heavy doors open and gestures you inside, but does not follow you. He just kind of, this looks like some kind of inner chamber. Vel, you know that you're kind of getting into like serious territory in the fortress if you're in the main hall, in the kind of antechamber.
I shall nod to him and then stride purposefully forward into the main chamber.
Okay.
Derek's idly playing with a squirrel in his branches, just jumping from his arms as he just slowly walks into the chamber.
Okay, cool. It's 10 foot tall and
11 foot
quite
4.
Impressive.
That's
11 foot 4, sorry.
I mean, I'm 7'5".
That's true. Everyone in Age of Sigmar is just a bit taller.
Giant. We're all just enormous.
Yeah,
except
absolutely.
He's a garden.
Malgra's got a giant hot air balloon,
a
little metal hot air balloon on his back.
It's true,
He's floating in the air. So, like, are you actually kind of hovering all the time, or are you?
No, because you
like
want to conserve.
deactivate?
You want to conserve power on the engine rigs because they're not unlimited power. So he would walk around for the most part.
Ultimate power. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Have a little wheel on the bottom of it. You like push it around.
He's kind of like as he's kind of walking.
There's
along
still
anyway,
noises and stuff coming from it, and it doesn't look. It looks heavy, but it's actually not as heavy as it looks. So he's just kind of unnecessarily large doors.
I might have like almost like water earmuffs on to muffle the sound of
I like it.
Of Malgra.
You and your beeping and clicking and ticking, and me and my marching in giant metal clunk, clunk, clunk. I kind of imagine they sound almost like Cybermen when they walk the Stormcasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can also imagine there's also a little bit of static each time they step as well.
Yeah.
Little crackle of lightning under their feet as they're moving around.
Especially here.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
are in a storm keep after all.
Absolutely. The floor of the huge hall is an intricate pattern of multicolored marble tiles swirling in a sinuous design that is unsettling to the eyes. At the far end, the Lord Arcanum stands, surrounded by her advisors, listening to their counsel, chatting. They're all kind of talking away, trying to get her attention and give her advice. But her eyes are intent on the table beside her. A dark wooden frame surrounds a field of enchanted sand. It moves and shifts, forming the shapes of Stormcast warriors in miniature as they survey the disintegrating shores. So the very shores that you were kind of flying over. I love the fact that she's got a 4x4 table by the side with miniatures on. It's great. Suddenly, you see strange figures emerge from the sand. Demons, Tzeentch demons. The Stormcast Eternals turn and give battle, the sand shifting to and fro as the combat rages on. With a concerning glance back at the sand table, the Lord Arcanum waves away her advisors and beckons you forward. Thank you for coming. The war here. She looks at the table to the side. I've only got 2,000 points. I don't think I'm going to win.
Stormcast in a rough place at the moment as well. So.
It's not going well. There are agents of Tzeentch everywhere, even in some of the highest positions in the city. And she kind of glances at her advisors as they're leaving as the doors are closing.
Commander, what of the new releases from Games Workshop?
Our warriors are spread thin, and the city has little wealth to hire more mercenaries. But there is hope if we believe in the legends. She looks you each in the eye and kind of looks at Vel. We believe the stories regarding the Spear of Heaven are true. I will show you, but you must swear absolute secrecy. If the agents of chaos here learned our plan, they would do anything to stop it. Will you come with me?
Of course.
Yes. All right,
if such a thing exists, we will find it and deliver it to you.
Where there's wind, there's travel.
She nods at you. Yes. She leads you out of the Portentarium, gathering Vontus on the way out. And as you're walking, she says, how was your journey across the shores?
Airborne, the Caradron flew us. Interesting.
And industrious allies. She bangs the top of Malgra's
Hey, lass, get off. This is a
engine.
fine piece of equipment. It takes a lot to keep it calibrated.
It looks exceedingly well tuned.
It is. I did it myself.
Excellent. And she kind of looks up at Darach, giving you a slightly side eye look. Don't see many of your kind here in Akshi.
You see one now.
But very, very, very true. Very true. She takes you to the Spear of Heaven. So there's the central column, as I said, this big spire that goes through the middle of the center, and she takes out a set of ancient-looking keys and unlocks the door. Selene opens the doors to the Spear of Heaven and ushers you in. Above, suspended hundreds of feet above you, is a gigantic white crystal, dull and lifeless. Behold, the beacon of Bright Spear. Centuries ago, it burned brightly, keeping the enemies of the city at bay and providing guidance for travelers in this realm. But it is no more. She guides you to, there's a railing, and you realize that there's actually a shaft that goes down into the city, down into darkness. Below, 1,000 feet or more, lies a most unusual realm gate. It too is dead. We are certain that the two are linked, this gate and this crystal. But the best of the collegiate arcane, the Ironworld Arsenal and other clever folk have not made much progress. She seems pretty annoyed by this. The key, we believe, is hidden in the Undercity. Now, she says, you wish to serve the city of Brightspear? Serve Sigmar? Solve the riddle of the beacon and the gate? Without them, we are but one battle away from losing the city again. I need you to head down and to examine the realm gate and then head into the Undercity.
Your word is Sigmar's will, my lord. Crash.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Tavaria will escort you down to the realm gate and provide you with a contact who can lead you into the Undercity. Be careful that this guide is a liar, a cheat, a sneak thief, and a coward. But in these troubled times, he is our most reliable option.
Come, colleagues. Adventure awaits. Let us seek out the spear and bring hope once more to the town.
Tarek nods.
Bontus kind of excellent. He seems annoyed, and he takes you to a small control panel, and he kind of touches a few controls on this, pulls some little levers, and you hear a kind of distant grinding noise. And after a while, a lift rises from the empty shaft. It is mounted on the interior of this shaft that goes down into the depths below. And the center of it remains motionless, even though it's moving around the walls. So you're not sort of getting rotated around as you go. It keeps you still as you're going around. So it's a kind of strange lift, the kind of thing that you've not really seen before.
Corkscrew. A spiral staircase, but a lift.
Yes, and the lift keeps you oriented in the same direction, so that even though it's mounted on the inside of the circular wall, you're not rotating around with it. So you can stand and have a conversation without getting sick, basically. It kind of, you see this thing coming up and it stops. And Vontus opens the gate and steps in.
I will step in after Vontus.
Okay. Everyone make a soul intuition difficulty 4-1 roll. So soul intuition is kind of like your, picking up on vibes from other people.
I
say
have
4-1.
dice.
Yep. You've got one die.
I got 6.
I
Oh,
have
wow,
advantage on this roll. What does that mean?
That means for you, it's a 3 up rather than a 4 up.
Okie dokie. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got 1.
I also got a success.
Keeping that
Okay.
dice out, that's the lucky one.
I got 3 successes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So as you start to, he sort of gets you all in and he pulls a lever. And as you start to go down, it's quite noisy, and this thing is ancient. And it's kind of grinding a little bit. Maui, you're probably thinking this could do with some oil or some ether
WD-40.
gold or something. Yeah, WD-40. Yeah, get your little whoop, 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 whoop out. And Vonta starts to tell you that there are a group of researchers down at the Realm Gate trying to figure out how to open it because it's not active, and they've kept the concept kind of secret until now. We've tried to not discuss this Realm Gate. We don't understand why it's not open, and these researchers are trying to. They think there's something different about it. You'll see when we get down there.
I did think it's strange that there was no Realm Gate in the city. Now I know why.
Well, yes, normally the cities are built around a Realm Gate, and that seems to be the case here. But I'm not a researcher myself, and I'd rather be off fighting demons, to be honest. This isn't really my forte.
I am a researcher. I would be very intrigued to look.
Well, I mean, but that's probably why you were requested to come then. There are groups down there already investigating, and feel free to talk with them. That's why I'm taking you down there to see if there's anything that they can share with you. But I've stayed with you to warn you, and you feel that maybe he's only saying this now that there's sufficient noise all around that people beyond might not be able to hear, and he kind of leans over and says, I think there might be a traitor among the researchers. I don't know, there's just something. We seem to get small incursions, and we've heard rumors drifting between the more unsavory groups of the city. Fortunately, when you bring in lots of people into such an urban area, you do get darker parts of society as well, and some of those people have come with them. Now, in some cases, that's proven useful, as with Presarium Shandos, your guide. The guide we think is the best person to take you down into the Undercity, but he can wait. Down here there are three main groups that are investigating. Three main researchers, but it seems that it's getting lower down and closer to the bottom. I think maybe I've said enough for now. And as you come down to the bottom, you can hear there's a hubbub. There's like people down there, and different sort of voices, different peoples, different species down there. You can hear different voices. You think you can hear some Duardin voices, and some Aelf voices. And as the lift stops, Vonta steps off the lift into a busy scene. There are groups of academics, mages, and engineers clustered around tables and work areas around the chamber. In the center, here we go. And it is a circular area with an orrery encircling it, similar to the one above the city. Around the circle, you can see an upside-down orrery consisting of a set of 9 spheres. 8 of them shine with the light of a certain realm. Yellow for Chamon and the law of metal, purple for Shyish, the law of death, blue for Holy Azer and the law of heavens, and so forth. Each is semi-translucent and seems to have something within. The final sphere does not glow, but seems to suck in light. Runes around it, identifying it as chaos. Noticing your descent, one of the group, a tall, dark-skinned woman adorned in yellow robes of the collegiate arcane, turns to address you. She motions towards the contraption. An ancient realm gate, nearly forgotten, dead as far as we know. And she looks at Vontus and says, "You can head back up." He says, almost kind of dismissively of him. And he grimaces and doesn't move, and kind of stands by the lift, almost in defiance. And she kind of looks at him in frustration. And she turns to you and says, I am Caddis Ahmad, head of the Gold College here in Brightspear. The Lord Arcanum thinks you can help us. What do you think?
I know we can.
Despite Valar's enthusiasm, I don't think we should be opening a gate that's been closed.
I will step past her and use my witch sight.
Okay.
In a flamboyant, kind of like, army type way, as in like
Using
with my
your
arms.
not like exerting military force to use witch sight.
I'm not just like, cracked out a small unit of goblins.
You'll be
rolling some
gesticulating.
dice.
Okay, so you can use your witch sight in the chamber.
Yes, I'm going to use my witch sight in the chamber.
Okay.
I don't know how that works, but let's give it a go.
Do you need to do anything to activate that?
You're gifted with the ability to see the magical energy that permeates the realms.
Just says at the GM's discretion, you can use this ability to track and follow the winds of magic. The realms are so pervasive.
Most wizards and spellcasters have some minor form of witch sight, but you have trained yourself to discern the patterns and motes of magical energy around you.
It's not hard down here. You're almost at the point of distraction by the kind of potency of your witch sight down here. You realize this is a very magical location, and sort of clustering around each of these spheres are dense groupings of kind of sparkling motes of there's a faint color to them, so they kind of identify with the realm that each orb is associated with. And they're kind of trailing around and seem to almost cling to some of the people as they're moving around the room. And you can see this kind of twisting around. And in the room, they're kind of slowly coming together. The chaos one is still and dark. And any of the other motes that come near it sort of wink out.
Imran, what do your witch eyes see?
Fish eyes, surely.
What I'm trying to see, like when you see like on a keypad and they dust the keypad, it shows you which buttons were pressed.
Oh, right. Okay, so you're looking for magical fingerprints.
So I'm almost looking for as if like somewhere that actually maybe on the door there is almost like an old resonance of where someone has touched or pressed some kind of magicalness.
So you start. So it's gonna take you a few minutes to, like, if you start wandering around the room, looking at things, looking for where people have been interacting with magical things. That's absolutely fine. What we can have is we can have like a little roll of an Arcana mind roll from you, and then we'll come back to you to say what you find after they've had a bit of a chat with the lady. Around the room, there are a series of huge sealed doors that all lead out from this chamber, this circular chamber. And she says, first problem is getting these doors open. We've never been able to pry them open despite our best efforts. There are 3 huge doors spaced evenly around the chamber. And she says, someone calls her name and she says, I'm very sorry. I will be back momentarily. And as you kind of then, she's not kind of right in your face, you can see that there are kind of 3 prominent standout figures in the room. There is a fire slayer, a huge plume poking through his golden helmet. He is largely naked, covering his important areas with beard, with gold tattoos and sigils pressed into the flesh of his body at certain points. These kind of almost like geometric knot, Celtic knot kind of style tattoos. Kind of they look like they've got a little goldy reddy iridescence to them, and they almost sort of move and shift slightly. He's standing off to one side, in looking at what the researchers are doing. He's a real standout kind of figure, very, very obvious. And then you can see Caddis Ahmad, who just spoke to you. She is dark skin, close crop curly hair. She had very sculpted features. There are a cluster of people like hanging on her words as she is talking off to one side. And then you can see a human who seems to be some sort of artisan working away with people, sort of bringing things to them and sort of saying, can you identify this? Can you look at this? So there seems to be a group of people looking around, and there's various sort of tables spaced around the room, and they've got various materials that they're trying to kind of investigate things. Yes, his beard covers his nipples. He's okay. Yep.
I'll look at the other two and say, do you think that the connection could be between this orrery and the other? Because that one was broken.
I don't know. I don't know any of this kind of stuff. What I do know is those doors are ripe for bombs. I reckon I can get those open.
Let's call that plan B. Talk to the artisan, see what you can find out.
Fine.
Did you want to, Malgra, did you want to look at the doors to see if you could?
Yes, Malgra will
Blow
be
them
at
up?
some point start like he gets like little, like those ear horns that like old people had in the ones.
Yep.
He's against doors and he's tapping.
Okay.
He's trying to see if
Let's have a, so you can do either a mind arcana or a mind crafting.
it will be
roll.
it will be mind crafting because I'm a demolitions expert.
Okay. And this will be a difficulty 5.
Okie dokie.
1.
Mindcraft.
So I got 1 5, but what I'm going to do is because I have a point of focus, I'm going to make it 2 5s, so I get 2 successes.
Okay.
Malgra ruins everything.
Cool. Right. So you kind of start investigating them, and you can tell that the hinges for these doors are hidden, and they must weigh a ton or two each door. And they're big doors.
Oh, is that all?
And
I can bench that.
And it seems to look like they probably open from the other side.
Okay. What about the surrounding walls?
This ancient construction, so the walls and the door. Oh, GM reroll. Thank you, Evil Gilmore. The doors and the walls seem to be made of the same thick stone, and there's some very good craftsmanship going on in the structure of this doorway.
Yeah, Mal like really appreciates the craftsmanship, being a Dwarden and being all
Absolutely.
about, being all about the craftsmanship. But he kind of wants to blow the doors up. But I probably can't see how he's going to manage that.
If you do, can you at least make sure that you take out a big chunk of the wall as well?
So you can start bench pressing.
No,
you,
so we can say you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Did you deflate your balloon, right? Squeeze it through a crack in the door and then
No,
inflate it again.
it's a solid metal balloon.
Inflate it again so it goes pink.
That's the Simonist thing you've said tonight.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Slide it under the door, you mean, and like
Yeah.
winch it up, like jack it up. Yeah, a little fold down.
Can't we just I'm trying to remember what Ben's character's name. Can't we just
Val.
kill Val, and let Val come back alive the other side of
On
the
the
door?
other side of the door.
I
Val
think
can
you want to
jump
use
over.
Hello.
clipping to see if you can kill me right up close to the door and see if I clip through to the other side of the door.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's not Planescape Torment. It's
Oh,
not.
right, okay.
It's not where you have to kill your main character to progress the story.
Also, not quite how the reforging works. He'd have to go all the way back to the realm of heavens.
Oh, you have to be so technical, Dan. Come on. Sure, there's just a lightning bolt would appear, wouldn't it? And then it's just like in Big Trouble Little China.
Only this time I'm played by David Tennant. Derek,
Okay.
what think you?
should talk to the other realm experts. I assume they have already looked at our possibilities. We should see what they have come up with already.
A sound strategy.
But you're sharp-eyed to notice the symmetry between the orrery on the top of the city and the one in here.
I've seen many of the realms, and there is always a connection.
I will talk to the Fire Slayer. I wonder if they are similar to Malgra in temperament and ideology.
I think you may find Malgra to be an even-tempered and calm individual by comparison.
Are there any scorch marks on the door? Have they already tried that once?
There are a few scorch marks on the door. So you're going to approach the Fire Slayer?
Yeah.
Don't go meddling around with too much that you don't understand over there. You're gonna cause me. Turns around and like,
Greetings.
right, tree.
I am Darak.
Well, met, Braga Coppertoe.
Greetings, Braga.
Captain Braga Coppertoe.
Hello, Captain. We were wondering if we could help at all with opening.
There's too much help going on down here. All these people wanting to dig up all these dark secrets. It's just too much bloody trouble. I mean, I know I'm paid to fight whatever demons and things people find in the Undercity, but inviting such trouble, it just smells of trouble.
Out of nowhere, you just hear a man in the background going, "I agree."
What have you tried to open the doors with? If any?
They told me not to try, but I tried to pry them open, and nothing really seemed to do it. Confounding.
These seem mighty strong doors.
Well, yes, I come down here every couple of days to check out how they're doing, just in case these idiots have opened up some gate to the realm of chaos and things are spewing out and they need me to kill everything in the room. Well, yeah. It's just going to be trouble when they open this thing, and that's why I want to be ready.
It is good to be prepared.
Yeah, aye. Yes. I mean, look, we've been hired to patrol this city. The threats, it's recently been taken back, and praise Sigmar made safe for occupation by an army of Stormcast Eternals. You think it's a safe place for your free guilders and your little folk? It's not. So they've paid us to come in and do the dirty work. There's loads of those filthy cultists hiding in the dark corners of the inner city and the lower city and the undercity, and I'm going to find them all and I'm going to kill them all and they're going to die by my axe. And he pulls out his axe and he starts like getting a bit excited. And so,
Sounds a little bit like Watt from A Knight's Tale. I'm going to phone you.
He starts to calm down. Oh, we recently found a whole nest of Carrick acolytes. They're popping up out of nowhere, and they go down well, though. They go down well. What about you? Have you been fighting chaos and such? He's sort of looking at you like he's trying to figure out exactly where. You think he might be talking to the squirrel?
Look at the owl. Look at my face.
Yeah, you might be talking to the squirrel. You're not sure.
The owl is very much asleep. The squirrel's probably scampered elsewhere.
Right up until Pete says it's very dark, and then I wake up my owl. He's got night vision.
I'm still thinking of when he said about the little people, and I'm like, I don't know. They come littler than him, but I'm not going to say that.
You might get an
You
axe.
think he might be talking about the peasantry rather than short folk.
Has he got like a turtle?
Has he got a tail?
Turtle. Something's carrying the bucket with his arrows in.
Oh, and the artwork for Darak. Yeah, there's like a tree stump on legs that looks like a turtle tree stump, and it's like a quiver.
Oh, cool.
There's
That's
nothing
cool.
in the character description that says that
No,
I have a little
but it's like
tree
this is
stump.
remember this is like super high fantasy.
Super
It's
high
Warhammer mashed up with Planescape. It's like everything, and it's cool.
This is
I'm
that
really-
speech from Age of Ultron, only you're delivering it instead of it being, we're fighting robots, the city's flying. I mean, now you're Groot as well. So you have to deliver the whole speech by going, I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Well, look, they've got you going down into the Undercity to find, the whatever needs to turn this thing on. Then good bloody luck to you. There's lots of horrible undead and chaos things down there that need a good killing. Well, watch out. There's those Carrick cultists are lingering around. They pop out of nowhere. Oh, well, they hide. They hide. They make themselves look like something else, and then they're there. And you got to kill them before they manifest those blades of theirs. You're just starting to get a bit more riled up. Like it's like a constant low level now, rather than spikes. It's like he's building up for the long grudge. But he now starts to just kind of go into like talking about killing cultists, smashing their brains in, chopping their limbs off, all the vicious ways. There's lots of talk about fire and burning things. And he talks about Urgold a lot, and he's always, the gold always comes into it. Oh, and we found some gold.
I think Darak will just politely listen to all of it while everyone else is doing whatever they're doing.
Okay. Vel, what are you up to while there's demolitions
I'm trying
going
to
on?
read the room. I
Okay.
want to see who's doing what, who's going where, how people are behaving. I'm
Okay.
trying to take a tactical view from right up back near the elevator, escalator, corkscrew.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not planning on talking to anybody directly.
Okay.
I've got specialists for that.
Let's have it's going to be a soul intuition roll, that one. I'd just like to say thank you to Millie for putting all the meta currencies on the screen.
Soul intuition.
That is fantastic. I have to add it into the overlay for next time.
What difficulty? am I looking at?
If I don't say anything, it's a 4-1.
Okay, so it's 3 because again I've got my advantage.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to feel that. 2 successes.
2 successes.
Yeah.
You've looked around, and you get the feeling that none of them have a clue. There's something that's bothering all of them. There's loads of stuff going on. The artisan is looking at loads of old relics. There's documentation. They're looking at runes. The Collegiate Arcane member who came over to you earlier on, forgotten the name right now, Caddis Ahmad, keeper of the archives. They're looking through loads of documents. There's books, there's texts, there's tablets, there's wax things, there's all kinds of material that they've got that they're looking at. And they're like, go
Is
and
it
check
because
this.
they're all trying to do it their own way, or is it because
No, there
they
seems
just
to
haven't
be
found anything?
there seems to be some working out between them.
Okay.
You always remember that realm gates seem to have some sort of power source. Sometimes that's just souls being sacrificed to turn a realm gate on. Other times they have other power sources that they use, often something soul related. And you've gone through realm gates before, and aside from the actual, the blazing power of an active realm gate, there's always that kind of energy thrum in the background. There's like a background thing that's not here. You don't feel that here. It's almost like all the parts of the realm gate look like they function, but there's just something missing, something centrally missing. That doesn't seem to.
So
it's
we're
not
looking for a
clicking.
power source to switch it on, basically.
It seems that way.
They've
It
got
seems
the
that way.
theory. The theory is sound, but what they
Hmm.
actually need is a thing that they don't have to be the missing piece of the puzzle.
Bombs?
Bombs.
Bombs.
A nuke normally does it, doesn't it? Imran, you've been wandering around the room, looking at various things, talking, sort of occasionally asking a question, looking at magical fingerprints. And you, the keeper of the archives, Caddis Ahmad, the dark-skinned lady who spoke to you earlier on, she kind of comes over to you. You can see that they've been all over this place. Things have moved around. You can tell that it's that the spheres down here have been static. It looks like without the power to the main realm gate itself, nothing's kind of moving. When Vel said, "Oh, it mirrors the one above," it doesn't seem to be moving in sync with it. The one above was moving. This one seems to be static. Maybe that's some sort of problem. And Caddis Ahmad comes over to you. Can I help you? You seem to be a bit lost, and you're very interested in what is going on here.
Well, I am a scholar of the mortal realms, and specifically of realm gates. This is a part of my expertise.
Well, then you're aware that nearly all realm gates only lead to one realm. I believe that this realm gate, because of the orrery, can be tuned to reach any realm.
Do you believe that's how the Tzeentchians got in?
Possibly.
Do you think that that's why it drained the power?
Well, now we're moving into supposition and conjecture. I would prefer to have hard evidence on such things.
So
unfortunately, there is no documentation of those times. I don't think the Agloraxians, as they were being overrun by Tzeentchian demons, had time to write down, and they're coming in.
I think you'll find that history is written in the Winds of Magic. And if you can read the Winds of Magic, then you can read the history. I do not need your simple text.
She looks at you like, Winds of Magic. I am a battle mage of Chamon. I know the Winds of Magic. I'm a battle mage of Chamon.
I'm sorry, you just got to say it like that.
I know. You got to.
Can we please stop saying the name of the Lord of Change?
Is the can I just
speaking their names draws them closer.
So the chaos orb that's there, would that, I'm assuming they would normally have an orb of chaos, or is that something that's not normally, or is the orb?
Well, this represents all the realms, so it would be remiss to not have the realm of chaos represented. However much we may fear its presence, we must understand these things in order to fight them.
Yeah. So basically, because one of my talents, one of my talents is you have spent years studying a particular area of lore and knowledge. You have chosen the mortal realms as your focus. You double the dice gained for training in lore tests concerning the mortal realms and realm gates. So I am like seriously, and I'm 80. I've been doing this a while. Seriously up on my realm gates.
You're like a train spotter, but for realm gates.
I have already got out my little book and written down 357.
Okay, so let's have a mind lore test for realm gates.
Yeah.
It's going to be slightly more difficult though, because this is an obscure realm gate. You've never seen one like this, so it's going to be 5s, and we're going to need 2 successes.
Okay. So I get 4 dice for my mind. I get 2 dice for my lore, even though it's 1, I get doubled. So am I allowed to use a soul point, people?
Yes.
Yay! So does that mean I get a 6?
Soulfire means you
Well-
gain maximum success, so all of your dice are sixes.
Does it?
Yes.
All of my dice are sixes, apparently.
We've currently got 11 Soulfire, it looks like.
We better start using it. Or we
Okay,
just
so-
better kill
Yeah.
Vel.
Yeah.
2, 4,
I succeed. You can succeed. You can
5.
succeed.
Okay.
We can all
6,
succeed.
6.
Don't know how we've
Um,
got 4 doom. That's a bit. Oh, it's 1 doom, not 4. I
Yeah,
was
it's
a bit concerned for a minute there.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap!
Okay,
Who's been
so-
dying?
So you have 6 dice, which means you get 6 sixes.
I've got 6 sixes.
Yahtzee. And you've looked around, you've seen the flow of the winds of magic in this chamber. You've even sort of glimpsed a few of the writings and the research that they're doing. You are a wunderkind, though, in the world of realm gates, and you. I mean, you've come to the conclusion that there's some sort of external power that is needed to operate it. You believe that the beacon, so the big dull
Big thing.
crystal at the top,
Yeah.
remember you saw it earlier on,
Yeah.
and the gate are tied together.
Yes.
If the gate can be powered, the beacon can be recharged, and its magical energy can be sent forth from the spear of heaven in order to protect Bright Spear.
Right.
So it would massively. So the realm gate itself also powers this beacon,
Yeah.
which would magically protect, not like make it invulnerable,
Yeah.
but aid Bright Spear, and it's almost like a lighthouse across the realms to
Yeah.
let people find their way safely. It seems that the Agloraxians were great kind of magical scientist researchers from what you've seen in the chamber and dotted around,
Mhm.
and they clearly were experimenting with lots of things, and they have this achievement they've made with this realm gate that is tunable to pick a realm that you could travel to, is something you've never heard of before, and it is just fascinating to you, and being able to activate this would be like a crowning moment in all of your studies, so it's very exciting for you.
So to clarify, the Atlanteans have created a programmable Stargate and shields around the city that we need a 0-point module to protect us with.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes.
All right, Colonel Shepard's
Yes.
on it.
Absolutely, and it will fire small
Brightly glowing.
brightly glowing things out the top of it.
Do I think
Just
if
got
we
it in chat from
stand-
Kargan Demon
Do
Claw
I
as
think
well.
if we stand one of the researchers in front of each of the orbs and sacrifice them all at the same time, whether that will generate enough power?
Do you
to
honestly don't know? You
kickstart
honestly
it?
don't know.
If I suggest that to someone, am I likely to find out?
If you suggest it to, you want to suggest that to Caddis Ahmad, the keeper of
No.
the archives?
Suggest
No.
it to the Fire Slayer.
Tell the Fire Slayer. I think if we sacrifice someone in front of each one,
He'll have butchered half the people in there before you get to the end of the sentence.
She comes over to you and says, I understand you're a learned person, and I apologize if I was blunt with you before. I think there is something important in the Undercity. I understand one of my people has spoken to Vontus and tells me that you're probably going to be heading into the Undercity to find the thing that we need. There is something else that I think now from studying the aperture, the equipment, and our texts and what texts we've found, there is a tuning key in the Undercity. And she shows you a rune in a document. You see, we found this document. This is a tuning key that will allow us, make it easier for us to then tune this to whichever realm we want to use. If you see anything like that in the Undercity when you go down there, please do whatever you can to get that and bring it back to me.
I see.
And then
So
she
what-
kind of sort of makes herself busy, and she's got other things that she. But thank you, and good luck.
When I did my witch side, did I sense any magic around any people? Was there any?
Oh, like half the
hits?
people in like this is Age of Sigmar, so
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
magical in some
yeah,
way.
but-
She's a battle mage.
Yeah.
The
But
the
you can sense sometimes that little ember of chaos, that little ember of lines.
yeah, you can't really sense that in the room. Right, Malgra, what are you up to in this chamber?
I've turned on my Aether rig and I've now floated up to the Orium.
Yeah, the upside down orrery.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and I'm up there and I'm trying to push it, trying to move it. Be very practical about
Just
this.
it won't budge. It won't budge. You can see the points of the mounting bearings and the armatures where it would pivot, and it's a very interesting setup. There's slots in the ceiling and in the walls that allow it to move, and subplates rotate separately. But it doesn't seem to budge when you kind of it doesn't seem to move at all.
Blast it all. And he starts to like power up his Aether saw.
Please no, says a figure below you. Please no. Could you not disassemble the equipment? I doubt your ether saw would work. It'd probably dull the blade. This is very ancient technology. You look down, you can see this person is wearing the thick leather apron of a artisan. It's got the emblem of the Ironweld Arsenal, who are a group of elite engineers that supply the forces of order with gear and kit and equipment and all the weapons, the giant cannons and things that sit on the walls, big war machines that fight the demons that constantly attack the walls, and what they use to go out into battle. And she's sitting they're sitting at a table, and there's kind of it's littered with gadgets and stuff and little relics and bits of gear and equipment, and it all looks pretty old but pretty interesting. And they're kind of working away.
I float down to her.
I hope that's the noise it makes.
There's various bits of kit and equipment dotted around, and they say, someone told me, are you the group that are going into the Undercity to find the thing that we need?
Everyone
Yes.
keeps saying the thing that we need, but nobody knows what the thing we need to find is.
Well, the kind of power source that we're looking for.
Well, that narrows it down then, doesn't it? I'm literally floating around with a power source on my back. Do you think that's going to power a realm gate?
There's only one true power source in all the realms.
Yeah, Aether Gold.
Sigmar.
Sigmar. By Gunky's beard, don't make me laugh, Val.
On my finger.
yeah, soul stealing elf. Anyway,
Souls is the power. That is the true power.
yeah,
Souls.
that's why you see us steal them all the time. I'm watching you.
Yeah. I don't want to steal yours.
That's all right, you don't. And he cocks his
Yeah.
like minigun that he's got.
Yeah.
So he's gonna start unceremoniously like sort of touching the gadgets on the table and picking them up and looking at them, because it's made by humans and it's clearly not as good as Edwarden's crafting skills at all.
Sure.
Yeah, what do all these do then? He's like sort of picking him up.
These careful. Not that might bite.
Boing.
These a lot of these are Agloraxian items and relics that I've been identifying and examining. A few of them we thought might help in the investigation of the realm gate. Some of them we found down here, and a few other bits are broken and don't really work. And I've just found it. These are all fascinating, and we think there's a lot more of this in the Undercity that we're not aware of. If you spot anything interesting, to pick it up and bring it back. It'll be.
Maybe we should take a trolley.
Well, it sounds to me like we need to go to the Undercity.
I think that is our next step.
Yes, I think. Yeah. There's probably soul caskets and things and all kinds of other things down there. But
are we not passing through these portals to get to the Undercity?
No, these gates will allow us to travel to other realms. It is a realm gate.
I thought that was what that gate was for.
no, Vontus is going to take you to meet a guide who will take you. You can get to the Undercity.
But where do these doors
elsewhere.
go?
The realm gate doors.
We don't know.
No, I know what a realm gate is. I mean the
realm gate just powers up
and
and
stone doors.
We don't. We
Oh,
we
the
haven't-
big stone doors. They open from the inside or the other side.
All right, so we'll go to the other side and open them.
we can't
on our
get
way
through. We
back.
haven't. Yeah,
No,
if you can.
But nobody's managed that yet, apparently.
No, we don't. We haven't been able to open them.
Is there a window around? And he's looking for a window.
I
Oh,
think
if only
we'll
it was
need to
that
go
easy.
the other way round, Malcolm.
Yes. Oh, here. They pick up a something that you think at first is like a tankard without a handle, and they hand it over to you, Malgra. That's a bore key, and you can see it's actually like a tube that you press against something and activate it. When you press this against a keyhole or a lock, it will drill through the material around that lock. A foot or so deep, and disable the locking mechanism. So it might be handy in the Undercity. There's lots of tombs and temples and research chambers and all those kinds of things down there. I thought I remembered this might be fairly.
They work on the skulls of the undead.
I've never tried that. But I did try them on the big doors, and broke a couple of them in trying.
Have you another?
I've got this one.
Thank you.
I can spare you. It gives it to Malgra.
Oh, I was meant another one, not the one you've given Malgra.
No. I've just
Malgra
got
looks
that
at Val as he's talking about using this. She's talking about using this as a drill to drill undead brains. I was like, this is a fine piece. Well, nearly a fine piece. It's not been made by a dwarf or dwarden. But
you just think it would be a finer piece if it had a handle attached.
Well, yeah, of course. And it's probably got some rudimentary. And he starts like trying to tinker in it and looking at it. But you're not touching it because you can't use it to kill things.
You can.
I know you, Val.
Ashira, the artisan who's sitting in front of you, they say, I'd be careful. Don't activate it while you've got your hand in there.
Don't you worry about me, love. I'm a master engineer.
Just saying, you never know who you meet down here, and I just thought I'd say.
That's all right. Where drills fail, bombs work. That's what I always see.
I bet you a drop of aqua giranis that I can use this to kill something.
Aye. Oh no, Val, I'll take no doubt. This is heavy enough to bludgeon someone. You don't even need to use it to drill.
I mean, use the tool properly.
Well, once we're done drilling locks, you can take it and drill someone's head. How's that sound?
Agreed.
Sigmarites. Ugh.
Non-anomaly said, "Now pay attention, James. This is sensitive equipment." I like the what was it? The phone booth with the. That was always good. Yes. Okay. Well, someone comes rushing over with a few other things in like a little a box and sets it down. Some more things for you, high artisan. And Ashira turns around to you. I'm sorry, but I'm very busy. I do wish you good luck in the Undercity. If you can find the catalyst that will get the Realmstone powered and the gate open, then that would be fantastic.
I'm sure we'll give it a go.
Garak, Imran. Time to go.
I'm ready.
Okay. So you head back over to the gate, and Vontus,
Our lift attendant.
the lift attendant, and he's kind of looking mildly annoyed at Caddis Ahmad, and then you arrive. Excellent. Are you ready to ascend? I believe we need to meet with Portentarium Shandos.
The traitor.
Well, not traitor, an opportunist, a liar, and a con man, but
a
someone.
scoundrel.
Yes, that would be a fine word. It's kind of getting you all in the lift as you're talking. We're aware that he knows a lot about the Undercity, has been down there many times, and led different groups and helped us out on a few occasions, but profited from it. And we think they're a good person to help you, to lead you down there.
Let's hope they're more useful than these researchers.
Yes, I mean, it's clear that there's something missing that we need to power the this realm gate, and we'll need all of your wit and cunning to help us find it.
Speaking of wit and cunning, what did the rest of you manage to uncover?
Well, it is incredibly different from any other realm gate I have ever seen.
Interesting.
For a start. I think it is true that you will be able to travel to any of the realms. I think at the moment you can't do so. And the reason you can't open the door is because, well, it's kind of not, it can't open to anywhere because it's not powered. As soon as it's powered, you will be able to choose which gate to travel to.
That would be a powerful weapon in the fight against chaos. As long as we keep it out of their hands.
And also, I think that it is connected to the big spiky thing on the top.
The Bright Spear.
Yes, the Bright Spear.
For which the town of Bright Spear is named.
Yeah.
Because it's a spear which is bright.
Well, not at the moment. I mean, not for a while. But I think the answers will unfold before us.
Always so cryptic. I found out that I couldn't blow up the doors because they're too big, and I couldn't turn the thing because it was too big and stuck. And that was about it.
I'm telling you definitely should have tried deflating your balloon. And, I mean, I just gave you the idea.
Darak, what have you?
Learned that the shadows in the Undercity are saturated with the cultists, and we would be wise to be on our guard from the moment we're there.
Oh, don't worry, Sally's got this covered. He starts patting his minigun.
Is there a way that I can gather souls? How do I do that?
No,
Not
you
without
think
being told off.
So you think that somewhere in the Undercity there's probably soul caskets or something that was being used to power that gate.
Yeah.
and that's probably what you need to be looking for.
And the soul caskets, do you need to like put new souls in them?
No, they have souls in them.
Okay.
I mean, you are Idenef. That is exactly what they do. They go around and steal people's souls.
I'm
Well,
also
one of my
feeling a little bit
goals-
like Captain America talking to Tony Stark right now.
Yeah. One of my goals is find the worst mortal in Brightspear and claim their soul. So, I mean, I
It's a
must be able to.
competition.
Well, I must be able to claim their soul.
You can. It's something that Ishran Tidecasters do for the Idenef people.
Yeah.
Because the Idenef are born without souls, or a good portion of them are. And to keep their race alive,
Because they're elves.
they steal other people's souls.
Yeah, but I don't have a spell that lets me do that.
No, it's part of the apathy. It's
He's
probably
a
just
straw.
natural.
Yeah,
It's
we're
probably
all
just
real.
natural.
I just stick my hand on someone's shoulder and go,
One of those bore keys, that'd
"Ka-chang."
do it. Right in the chest.
So if someone dies and their soul is like, can I just go, I'll have that?
Pretty much. That's pretty much how it in an ABC world. Yes, that's how the Idenef soul stealing works.
Okay,
Only
where
if you
do I
put a little
the s-
mask on and
Okay.
shout, "Your soul is mine."
Okay, I'm quite happy to do that. Where do I put the souls once I've stolen them, and how do I get them out again?
Put me in a soul hole.
Oh God, now you're asking me the law stuff. I'm pretty sure they carry like crystals on them that they can store them in, and then when they go back to the Idenef enclaves under the sea, they can put them in like a big, almost like pearl type things.
Okay, so I've got crystals, and I can basically
I
just
th-
take people's souls. That's
I think there's some roles involved, and that's probably more advanced rules that we should
Sleight of
not worry
hand.
too much about in this starter set 2 or 3 parter.
I'm just giving you the law. I'm not telling you how to
yeah,
do it.
no,
I think
absolutely.
I think at some point
Like
someone's
I'm
going to die,
actively
and I'm
telling
going to
you
try and
not
get
to
their
do it.
soul.
Please don't do that.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I mean,
I know, but I've told you not to do that. So maybe you'll hold off on doing it until I'm not looking.
okay. I'll wait till you're busy. Killing
That shouldn't be
things.
difficult. There's plenty down here to occupy my time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making your way up. He says to you, in the sort of middle section of the journey up in the lift, it says, do you suspect any of them?
No.
No.
I don't trust any of them.
But I wouldn't worry about it. They will show their hand when the time is right.
Show their hand.
None of them were
Ah.
obvious as yet. There are too many people in that room to get a perfect read. I would suggest that the 3 major players that we spoke to may be clean. I would suspect their advisors the next tier down. Jealousy breeds discontentment. Discontentment brings the lure of chaos.
Now the lure of chaos tempts many. They're not forged as we are. Just looking at Val.
Indeed.
Well, I will.
When you put into Google, how do I steal a soul? Sometimes you get really odd results.
Really? Who could have guessed?
And only Simon would search how to steal a soul.
It's a shame
Dan,
Yahoo Answers
Dan,
is closed down. isn't
Dan, you weren't going to tell me, so I had to look myself. And you got the book. Sorry.
Cool. It's all right. It's all right. So you rise to the back up to the upper tier, and he says to you, "I've made arrangements for the gyrocopter to take you to the Bright Market. Shandos is normally to be found in either the Pickled Efreet or Lowstones. One of those taverns will his usual haunts. I'm reliably informed. So take your pick and track down Shandos. Obviously, we'd prefer if you were to be timely about your completion of this task. However, I'm willing to give you 500 drops for expenses on your whatever expenses you may need to run up.
See, that's what I've always liked about you, Stormcast. Always lucrative.
I assume Malgra accepts the.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah, the money in this is drops. Oh, I can't help me out, Dan. I can't remember the.
There's like
Aqua Garalis.
Yeah, it's Aqua, but they're
Drops,
in different measurements.
files, and
drops and
spheres.
files and spheres.
Yeah, that's it.
Spheres
Drops,
being the
files, and
highest,
spheres.
and
Yep.
they're not just money though. You can use them to heal as well and things like that. So they're like a multi-resource type thing.
Yeah, there's lots of meta currencies and things in this. It's funky. Difficult for Millie to track all on the screen, but thank you, Millie. We've got like rerolls on our faces. We've got Soulfire and Doom, and you guys are tracking your own metal, so don't forget that. So as you go back out through the Portentarium, by the big fortress towards where the gyrocopter is waiting for you, you can see some of the Stormcaster tunnel moving around. There's it's all quite big armor, big 7-foot tall warriors touring around and sort of marching and parading, big statues, big buildings. It's all quite militaristic and impressive or oppressive, depending on how you feel about these things. And there's this nice little gyrocopter kind of sitting there waiting, a bored Duardin smoking a cigar. And he kind of sees you coming and kind of gets himself into the seat properly and gets the gyrocopter going. And he looks over at Malgra. Right, markets.
Yes, please.
Right, you are.
Stand again.
Stay inside the copter this time, would you?
I don't need to stay in the copter. I'm a high hitcher.
Right.
Tray tables in the upright position. Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle throughout the ride.
Keep your arms and rail guns inside the.
Also, it's a gyrocopter, which means it's Iron World. It's not an doesn't belong to the Caradron Overlord, so don't
it's
quite
not
trust
Caradron Overlord.
Yeah.
It's Iron World.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'll stay on the outside because if it goes wrong, I'll just float down on my own.
Just like really slowly.
Yeah.
Cool. So the gyrocopter takes you down to the
Yes,
lower.
I'll die and hope I get promoted to Knight Azeroth Day.
Takes you down to the bright market. Here we go. Sorry, some of it's
We
in
will
one book and some of
instantly
it's in the
blend
other.
in amongst the common folk.
Well, there's lots of people moving around. You can see groups of all kinds of people, free guild soldiers moving around, patrolling the areas. You can see groups of fire slayers moving towards the inner city, underneath the plate. There's a couple of flagellants off to one side, screaming the blessings of Sigmar at passers-by. And everyone else in between. You see some elves, and you don't see any other Kurnoths, tree people wandering around. The Sylvaneth, sorry. And that's few and far between. But on the way down, you did notice, Derek, that there's this thing you've heard about called the Hanging Gardens, which is like a kind of like in inner city areas now, they like to grow plants up the sides of buildings. It's similar to that. They've got like a root system that goes across a whole set of buildings, and there's like an horizontal irrigation system that goes through it. And you've all been told that this is where most of the food for the city comes from, and that there's actually a druid, enigmatic druid figure who helps to look after this. And that's big, and it's clear to see all these plants and vines all growing under the heat of the Akshi sky. That's pretty impressive as you're going down. And as you land in the Bright Market, he says, "Well, what were you looking for when you're here?"
We would
There's
like
some
to go
drunk
This is your
Ifrit.
pilot.
the pickled Ifrits or
Him.
low stones. I would like to go
Oh,
to the pickled Ifrit, as I've never seen a pickled Ifrit, but I have seen stones that were quite low.
well, we've all seen low stones. You're on like a landing platform
It wasn't a
and
contest.
with some.
I think it may refer
True.
to the act of gambling these low stones. They might represent dice. So I suspect the pickled Ifrit is probably just a drinking establishment, and the low stones is a drinking and gambling establishment. For this time of day, I would suggest we start at the tavern and then go to the gambling establishment if that proves fruitless.
I think it's supposed to be a funny name. The Duardin who runs it keeps his prices low to the ground. But it's up to you. And he kind of points in two directions. He goes, Pickled Ifrit, road to next to that there, and he sort of points out, and then low stones go right down there, and you can't miss it. Pulls his cigar out. Well, he kind of.
You needn't wait for us here. We'll be going into the Undercity.
I'm not going to. Have fun in Undercity. Pretty dangerous down there, so just watch your hides.
Can we fetch you anything while we're there?
Gold?
If we see some, we shall bring you some.
Oh, right. Very well.
Just walking off towards the pickled Ifrit.
Okay,
'cause
so
he's very interested to see it.
you head over to the Pickled Ifrit, and Vantos has told you what this chap looks like. Described him as a fairly handsome man with short, close-cut hair, a beard, and the odd scar, subtle scar on his eyebrow. The Pickled Ifrit is actually more of a dining establishment. And as you head out where you were directed, you can see this is kind of residential district of the new city. So this is out from under the plate, not into the inner area. And
good. That means I'll be gleaming.
it looks like it's a building that's been reestablished from a ruin. So it doesn't look as pristine as some of the buildings, but it looks like they've made a good effort to restore this building. It's got like the windows look new and things like that, but you can see that part of the wall is an old structure and part of the wall is a new structure. And as you go in, there's brand new furniture and glasses and things up on the walls, but they're all slightly different. So there's lots of new furniture, but like the tables don't quite match and things like that. So it's slightly eclectic. And hang on, just get to the right page.
Artisanal.
That's it. That's the word.
So they have like vegan special of the day.
Does it have a swinging pub sign?
Do they serve chips in tiny buckets?
They sell the notorious dappled Ifrit, and it's been favoured haunt of mercenaries, smugglers, and ne'er-do-wells. So you can see there's various people sitting around, and sitting in the corner is a man that seems to fit the description of Shandos.
Is there an Ifrit in a jar in pickle?
Yes, there's a giant pickled Ifrit by the door.
Well, I shall throw the door open dramatically as we go in.
It
Boom,
bangs
I'm not
into
gonna be
the pickled
subtle.
Ifrit.
Stride in, look around,
Okay.
walk straight up to the guy and go, "Are you Sandos?"
Well, as you kind of storm in, swing the door open, shining armor, and you kind of step in, there are all these kind of dodgy. It's like ba 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 ba. And the music stops, and everyone looks around at the Stormcast Eternal, who's kind of stormed in, and this guy kind of looks up at you, kind of startled. I'm Presarium Shandos.
Excellent. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Yes.
I
What-
think he means to say you are our guide. If you're not aware of this, then be aware of this now.
Oh God. Oh, that's so much better than what I thought was going on right there. I thought this was a shakedown. Right.
Is there anyone else in here we should shake down? I mean,
He relaxes.
I wish to
a
shake you.
bit.
I would have picked you up first.
Okay. Hey, sit down. Maybe get a drink. It's not too expensive here. I'll have some Ifrit juice. And there's you can see there's a tap on the side of the big glass jar with the pickled Ifrit inside.
I drink my own recycled water. Thank you very much.
Ooh,
Matt was already 10 steps
heard
ahead
you
of
were weird.
everybody. He didn't
like
even
that.
go with the main group. So he went in and went, oh, bar. Went to the
Okay.
bar. Because he's a Dwarden. First thing he's going to do is go find a strong ale.
That's
He's
fair.
already at the bar just going, glug.
Okay.
Seawater.
It kind of like
seawater. With my own
forgot to
fish.
turn his engine off, so he's like slightly floating above the bar. I like to think that occasionally it goes wrong, and you're like, "Ooh."
Readjusting those levels.
Malgra, bring beverages.
I love Vel's approach. Hey, so you're the ones who are heading down into the Undercity.
Indeed.
Well, pull up a seat then. Pull up a seat. And he starts to talk to you, and he's like, I am like the foremost explorer of the Undercity. I've found all kinds of chambers down there. Whatever you're looking for down there.
Have you found the Hall of Memory?
Not that I can remember. No. There's all kinds of there's all kinds of chambers down there. Lots of different things. The only problem is the damn corridors keep moving around.
You must be a formidable fighter. I've heard there are many cultists and dangers in the Undercity.
Oh well, I don't think they're too. But I mean, points at Vel. When one of these go storming around down there, then obviously they care. But a quiet little Shandos slipping in, finding something shiny, slipping out. They don't really care so much, and charting some of the main chambers. Some of the chambers are stationary, some aren't. Some of the corridors move, some don't. It's a strange place down there, and you'd be wise to find a good guide.
We have. It's you.
Yes. This is true. This is true.
We are assured you are the most capable person who can show us into the Undercity and get us where we need to be.
We were also told you were distrustful, and I'm trying to think the other words. The other word, I can't think what it is. But be as it may, you are still our best guide.
Look, just because I'm slightly more creative than some of the law enforcement of the city and a bit more roguish and daring than some of these stick in the muds who only turn up when there's 5,000 others clad in finely crafted metal armor. Just because of those facts, they paint me as some kind of coward and cheat and liar. You know, I make a living in a hard city the only way I can, using my skills. You know, if you want to come here and tell me I'm a liar, then maybe you should find
we simply
another.
want you to show us the way into the Undercity as a guide.
Fine.
Do not trouble yourself over much with conflict. We will take care of what we need to take care of. But there are no 5,000 with me this day.
Just a tree and a balloon.
I'm feeding bar nuts to the squirrel in my branches.
Cool squirrel.
And a fishy elf.
That reminds me, I need to fetch my Masturi. A Masturi is an otter-like creature
From space.
Yeah.
that has fur that shines with the light of stars.
Does it
Oh,
also
wow,
have
that's so
tentacles on
cool.
its head?
It doesn't have tentacles on its head. Look, Blinky is. I got to go pick up Blinky if we're going to go down there. He's helps guide light the way and get into little crevices, and occasionally he's helped me with one or two intricate locks that need someone to get into a little hole and pull a lever. It's, Blinky's amazing. My partner in adventures. But look, I tell you what. Look, I'll meet you. There's a corner, disused corner at the edge of the lower tier, and he tells you where it is. I'll meet you there in a couple of hours, and we can head into the lower tier, into the Undercity.
This is agreeable. 2 hours hence, we will meet you at that location. In the meantime, we will take in the fine sights of the city.
It sounds like you're excited to do some sightseeing. Right. Okay. Well, I will take my leave then and this drink. And he kind of slides away. I'll be heading off now to go and get ready, get my gear, fetch any gear that you need. Got enough weapons and ammunition.
Yes.
Probably need quite
Just
a
a
bit.
nut.
I tell you what, the thing is, you've got to be prepared for cultists, chaos demons, and undead creatures.
I'm quite literally forged for this purpose.
Well, that's good then. That's great. That's great. You're going to be a handy person to have around. How good are you all at being quiet?
Darak is our expert there. I shall point to the 10-foot-tall tree feeding
The
barnuts
giant-
to his squirrel.
The
Again,
giant
11'4". Can't stress that enough.
Is this the one game you're allowed to be taller than me at?
And the tallest. I get why you like it so much.
It's great, isn't it?
Okay, cool.
Does
well-
he believe, Vel, that Darak is the stealthy one?
No, he like looks at you and he's like, the giant tree is your stealthy one. Yeah,
Indeed.
pull the other one. Yeah.
I'm lawful. I'm not lying.
lawful. Okay. Well, look, just try and, sometimes sneaking past is better than plowing in. What am I saying?
In the
What am I
background, you hear like
saying? Look who
a
I'm
little
talking
mini
to.
explosion out of the back of my Aether thing.
7.5
Bang,
feet
bang.
tall, wearing gold plate armor
Yeah.
crackling with electricity.
He's like,
I
okay.
don't see a lot of sneaking.
Can you
in my
take
future.
that off?
No.
Okay. Can we like paint it?
I do not think
No.
you need worry about hiding. I do
This
not
armor
think
was
you need
hand
worry about.
forged by the hand of Sigmar himself.
Okay. Sure.
I died and was
Right.
reborn
Okay.
on the Anvil of Anubis for this armor. I am not painting it.
Look, fine. Look, meet me at this corner, and I'll take you into the Undercity.
Oh,
Okay. So, is there anything you guys want to particularly like purchase or get a hold of? We're not going to do like a shopping extravaganza or a guided tour. You know, there's a bus with you sitting on the top, and you're all going. Hey. But
Tarek, do you think you could follow him without being spotted?
Yes.
That's the
Squirrel
only
could.
That's the only corn off in the entire city.
Well, look,
Everyone will just assume it's a tree.
every time he turns around, you stand really still.
Yeah.
May I
You
try and
think
follow him?
you can try and stealth after him. I am going to make it difficult for you though, because
Oh, so stealth's done off body, isn't it? My stealth my
yes.
stealth training is 2, so I'm rolling 5 dice. Just so
Yeah.
you've got fair warning of what.
No, that's
difficulty
fine.
it is.
That's fine. I was going to make it 5-2. So 5s, and you need 2 or more to follow him.
Spap some of that
Two
soul
successes.
fire, mate.
Yeah, we've got like so many.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could use
spend a soul fire. You
spend
might as
a
well get
soul
all
fire.
6s.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll spend this.
This is the intro session, so there's not many rolls in this one,
Yeah.
and then we get the next
Yeah.
session. We'll like get into the meat of it.
So far, I only got 1 success naturally. So yeah, spend a soul fire. So 5 successes.
Okay, right. So, in a creeping vine, clambering between buildings, using your owl to scout it and your squirrel to follow him as well at times. So you're keeping up like a few buildings behind and then catching up. You see that he goes to a residential area, like a kind of like tenement thing with lots of buildings kind of stacked on top of each other. It looks like old ruined structures that have been rebuilt, and sort of some different building types of kind of and different architecture have been kind of put on top and built together into this kind of high density housing area with covered walkways up the front of it, and you see him go into one of these structures. You can go and that's 5 successes, so you did really well. You can kind of get up to, you're hiding in the pot plants outside. There happens to be a small tree. You it's like just like a tree outside the window. You're very quiet though. There's only a very faint rustling of wind as you creep up to the front of this structure, and you can see it's just like a house. Like simple dwelling with a couple of rooms, nothing fancy going on, and there is a blue otter-like creature whose fur pattern changes with the stars above. That comes out of like a little. There's like a large box with sort of things in it. You can't see what they are, but you think they might be toys or little apparatus for it to climb on, and there might be a bowl for food and that kind of thing. And it climbs out and it jumps into his jacket, and he kind of does it up, and he kind of, hey, Blinky, you hear him talking and being nice to the animal. He's not like hitting it or grabbing it or anything like that. And starts to gather his stuff, his gear and equipment, for going down into the Undercity. And after 5 minutes of watching him, you're like, yeah, he's just kind of getting stuff. He doesn't seem to be doing anything dodgy, but you can keep following him for the 2 hours if you want, and then
I'll
meet up with them at the place.
Check he doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the rest of you want to buy anything or go anywhere or do anything? Are you trying to explore the city, or are you
I don't think so. I think I'm be more than keen to stay on mission.
Okay.
Malgra was
Yeah.
just going to keep on drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think I might look at the architecture and think what the casks might look like, whether they would be different to other casks.
Okay. Yep.
You know,
Trying to
in the
get an
city.
idea of
Yeah,
like
in the
what am I
city.
looking out for in the
In-
Undercity.
well, yeah, in the city's design and also where they might be stored, what kind of architecture is in that vicinity. So if I see an area where, oh, actually, this is much nicer, you know, or this is of a
Okay.
certain type, this might be a good location.
Yeah.
That kind
Okay.
of thing.
The soul caskets tend to be of a slightly more gothic iron, you know, they look like cold iron and stuff like that. So you're kind of you're logging that and thinking about it, and time passes. You have a meal. Do the Stormcast Eternal need to eat?
We
I can't remember
sustain
that
ourselves
fact.
on our faith in Sigmar.
Okay, there you go. He's really hungry. She's really hungry.
all the time.
Yeah. And after a couple of hours, you make your way to the lower tier, the edge of the lower tier, and this kind of disused area. And you can see that Shantos waits outside a partially collapsed stone house, walking through a doorway when you arrive. And he says, "Look, in here there's a basement. Through this basement, there's a ladder into a lower level, and there's an entrance in there. So
Can I
it's,
tap him on the shoulder from behind? If I'm still following secret.
Ah! It jumps out of his skin. He's like, "Whoa! What the? What?
I did tell you he was our expert in stealth.
Yeah. Well, how to treat what?" He seems really confused for a moment. Said, "Look, come through here." So he takes you down into this sub basement. Heavy doors in the small room open to reveal a staircase going down for 50 feet or more, reaching a large platform that intersects a subterranean tunnel.
It's an
Bizarre.
unusual building.
Yeah, there's lots of these strange things stacked on top of other things. The Agloraxian ruins underneath the city are vast and changing.
It's
Some
like
people
they
think
built a city on a city.
well, they pretty much did, but some people say it's the Agloraxian magic and their old advanced ways that keeps the city still changing underneath, whereas there are those who say it's down to the incursion of Tzeentch and the changer of ways. So
Don't use the name, please.
the changer of ways, sorry. So he ignores the tunnel and turns towards another wide stairway leading away from the platform. This stairway descends in what seems a never-ending circle. There's like around the interior again. There's a lot of this kind of deep shafts going into the earth kind of feeling going on. But eventually reaches another arched opening. After 100 steps or so, you reach another doorway. This one has what was once a strong vault door, but it is bent open as if something from beneath pushed outwards and broke free. So he holds up his hands, and the little otter creature pokes its head out, and it's the first time the other three of you have seen Blinky. He says, once we go through here, where we're going into the Undercity proper, and it gets serious. Any last words?
Don't be so
For
dramatic.
Sigmar.
Oh, always for Sigmar. Come on, Val.
Okay.
I shall unholster my shield and loosen my sword in its sheath.
Okay. Well, he leads you through the doorway. The air is cool and tastes of metal and rust as you descend an ancient spiral staircase into the depths. you feel like you're really going down and down into this city. Rosarum leads the way with confidence, motioning you forward. The stone passageway begins to spiral slowly, stepping down every few paces. Dark side passages can be half seen in the gloom, and you can hear your guide counting them under his breath. So there's this continuing feeling of going down and going round and descending and going into the depths of Brightspear. Presarium advances forward, blinky curls around his shoulders, the star map of his fur, the only source of light here. It is difficult to see the way forward or even the way back. Strange sounds echo in the darkness, and the air is very cold as you kind of make your way into a tunnel area. It's pretty dark down here. And the otter is providing light for you. Is there anything anyone wants to do to create some light within this area?
Would you like me to create some light?
I don't have any on it.
Okay.
Or if you want, we can say that you bought some like torches and lanterns and stuff.
I don't think.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Earlier
can Stormcast basically make a little bit of light, given that they've got that static electricity thing going on? I'm not talking like enough light to blind anything, but
No,
like
we just cast a spell. it's
sword with a
fine.
little bit of electricity on it, kind of thing. Because otherwise,
You could maybe generate enough to like read a book you've got in your hand or something, but not really to light a corridor.
Torches on
So we
that
better have
thing.
bought some. We've got a
Yeah, you could buy some
fish
torches or
whistle.
lanterns. That's fine.
Fish
The,
whistle.
the engine rig
Spells,
has
fine.
torches and stuff.
I say it must have headlamps or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy for headlamps on Malgra's. Like
No, I'll cast a spell.
you
Yeah.
can cast a spell as
fine.
well, because you
Yeah.
just have Malgra's kind of like
Okay.
torches.
So I do mind 4 dice, yeah.
Yep.
Channeling 2.
Yep.
And then I've got focus of 1.
That
Okay.
means you can.
Derek
Means
will
you got-
be at the rear of the party.
And I have to watch out if I roll bad dice, if something happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Training 2. And it says for Ghost
Millie's pet.
Light.
Okay, get ready for explosions.
Ghost Light is 3-1.
Yeah, so you need to roll 3 or more on those dice, and you need to
Yeah.
get 1 success to do it.
And it's 1 plus success hours.
Yep.
Okay.
We best
so
hope
I
that you
got-
don't explode into a cloud of watery bees.
I got 1. Yeah, which would be amazing. I got 3. I got 3 3s and 2
Oh look, we
4s.
found Zan.
Okay,
Okay, I don't know what that means, but I got 3 3s.
so
and
you
2
got
4s.
5 successes.
I didn't blow up. I'm assuming I didn't.
Yeah, so you created a light that will light your zones.
Create a light that will create my zones for
Yeah, for
1,
6 hours.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
so you've got you create a ghostly light that reflects your law of magic. So it's like a watery sphere of shininess,
Yeah.
and it hovers in the air. So it's like a separate light from you. As an action, you can move the light to an adjacent zone. So as you're traveling, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into combat, you would need to actively move that as an action.
Right. Okay.
The light begins to fill the corridor, revealing beige stone surfaces crisscrossed by shiny black webbing. You have only a moment to reflect upon them before shapes pounce out of the darkness. 4 fire hunters, sickly, disgusting-looking spider-like creatures, jump from crevices and cracks between the stones to attack you. And we shall leave our episode there.
Eek.
Cool. Okay. So that was our eek, yeah. That was our first run through of Age of Sigmar Soulbound. Not too many roles to begin with, but it's a bit more of a scene setting, getting a feel of it, getting a bit of the city, and a bit of getting you guys used to a different style of characters and things. So thank you guys for volunteering to try this out. That's cool. We're going to do it follow up next week and maybe the week after, just to do some of this. I might just sort of shorten it a bit to sort of fit into a few sessions. So we can do that. And if we like it, who knows, maybe later Dan will do, or someone will run a campaign of Age of Sigmar on the channel. I'd be up for running it, actually. I really like the setting. I think a lot of people don't like it or didn't like it because it's so different to Warhammer Fantasy roleplay. But I see it as its own thing. And in my head, it's this kind of the multiple realms and the high adventure and high fantasy kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
And all of the different realms kind of give you could just literally do anything.
Yeah, there's lots of options. It's like Planescape, as I said. You've got your realm of this and that, and you can go and have a different style of adventure in each of the realms and really theme it. And you could go into one realm and do a lot, or you could sort of hop between them. So yeah, no, I'm liking this. And we'll get to grips with the rules and all the talents and all the other stuff. So
it seems pretty straightforward. Like it doesn't actually.
It is pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they've got the added layer with the passing tests, like difficulty number is like number to pass the success and number of successes needed, but that's probably it really. Otherwise it looks pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, it's with all these things. It's always like the details around, the kit, the equipment, the spells, the talents, all of those things that you kind of have to get sort of familiar with what they do, and because they're all individual bits. But yeah, I think it's quite fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. I know it was quite exposition heavy to begin with, but next week there'll be more
the starter session
action. Yeah. And hopefully people watching enjoyed that. And if you're watching back on YouTube later, you like that as well, and give us a like and a comment below. Thank you everyone for watching. Please don't forget to go and check out all our social medias. Check out our Discord and our Patreon. Tomorrow on the channel we have
part half to 1.5 of Changed Stars.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful, currently kickstarting game. Link in the chat thread right there from Pat and our friends over at Diesel Shot. They have already fully funded. They fully funded in 5 hours, so it's going ahead. They've already started working on some of the extension goals and the stretch goals, and looking really, really positive there. So we're finishing off the second half of our adventure, where a small investigative crew led by a cute, fluffy space otter are looking into mysterious disappearances on Trinity Colony, and we'll be trying to find out what has happened.
Oh, and I genuinely didn't add a space otter to this because of that show. There's just a space otter in this, and I was like, space otter.
It was clearly meant to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Thank you, Ben. That's going to be a fun session tomorrow. And then next week on Monday we have
Beltalodo. We got the Expanse, where we got our crew. We just got our own pirate ship because we're badass OPA pirate now. In your loader over there, him's not too happy with us getting this piracy thing going on. But we're going to investigate who killed all of those people and what's going on with the blue goo.
Oh, the blue goo, yeah. That's cool. Then on Tuesday, hopefully, because it's May the 4th, we're going to be doing a Star Wars one-shot just for fun. And I think Dan, Roger, and Ben are in that so far, and I'm gonna be trying to rope in 1 or 2 other people to try and just flesh it out, and we'll have a bit of fun with a Star Wars thing that may be Fractured Empires adjacent or related, which could be fun. And then on Wednesday we have Warhammer Wednesday with Once Upon a Time in the Old World, Jim's amazing NPCs
really
and
good.
story, like entertaining. It's fantastic. It's
I'm
really,
having
really
to
good.
catch up because I can't watch live on Wednesdays. If you haven't watched
You've
got to start watching it. It's brilliant.
It was the baby's arm that I was mowing the lawn, and I just burst out laughing, stopped laughing my head off, and I looked over and Mrs. Garblag was staring at me out the window, wondering what the hell I was doing. I was just going, "Wah!" So yeah, that's a lot of fun. So that's really good. And then obviously we'll be back with the second episode of what's it called? The adventure is called Faltering Light. That's the name of the actual adventure that comes in. I know it's called Soulbound. Yeah, I hadn't forgot that so soon. It's on. I can see it on the screen.
Thanks, Leon.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And we've been Garblag Games. So stay safe and happy gaming, everyone.
Night.